I bet you can't guess what time it is. I bet you can't. Maybe if you just look at what's being touted on Variety when it comes to Lucasfilm and Star Wars, you can tell that it's time for Star Wars marketing. As Nerdrotic says on social media, begun. The Disney Star Wars marketing has hashtag Acolyte. That is right. The marketing is really ramping up for the Acolyte when you see Kathy Kennedy saying crap like this. That's right. She says, a lot of women in Star Wars struggle. They struggle with fan attacks because of the fan base being so male-dominated. You know, what I love to then see is someone like Heels versus Babyface. You gotta love his takes. He goes, so it was a retarded decision to turn it into a Disney princess brand then? Kathy? Hey? And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But before we get into that, let's take a look at what she actually says. This is from Variety. She goes, my belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people. She goes, and she's talking about the support of Leslie Headland's Acolyte, which we're going to talk about something she says here. That's an easy decision for me, she says. Operating within these giant franchises now with social media and the level of expectation, it's terrifying. I think Leslie has struggled a little bit with it. I think a lot of the women who step into Star Wars struggle with this a bit more because of the fan base being so male-dominated. They sometimes get attacked in ways that can be quite personal. Okay, so let's kind of dive into this a little bit here because this aggravates me a little bit. We've been saying, the fans, the Star Wars fans, we've been talking about this for quite some time, that Star Wars is male-centric first. It always has been. Yes, Star Wars is for everybody. Let's put that front and center. Star Wars is for everybody. Anybody can watch and enjoy Star Wars. We're not saying that only men can watch Star Wars. But let's not beat around the bush here. Star Wars is very much so more male-centric. It always has been. So your fan base is more male-centric. That's what it is. When you try to push a new narrative, a new agenda, a new take, a new spin, you're going to have pushback from that core audience that has been there for 40 years. That's what you're going to see. Her saying, my belief is that storytelling does need to be representative of all people, and that she supports Headland, basically supporting Headland with the Acolyte vision. Since Disney's acquisition of Lucasfilm in 2012, we have had the Star Wars sequel trilogy, which was 3 movies, huge, big budget movies that saw what? A female lead. Out of 5 films, 3 of those movies right there, 3 of those films had a female lead, but not only out of those 5 films were those 3 movies a female-led movie, but we then had Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which was another female-led, female-centric story. We also just had a pretty big show in Ahsoka. Not to mention all of these other female, very strong female-led and female, characters that we've seen within Solo, within Rebels, within the Clone Wars, within everything else that has popped up here and there in Star Wars since Disney has acquired Lucasfilm and Star Wars. So the fact that she's going to sit there and say that it's very important to us and we have to support Leslie Headland's take, when are they going to support the take of, sticking to what Star Wars has always been? That's my question. That's what a lot of the fans have been asking for quite some time. But then we take a look at what Leslie Headland says. And she goes, I know how frustrating some Star Wars storytelling in the past has been. I stand by my empathy for fans, but I want to be clear, anyone who engages in bigotry, racism, or hate speech, I don't consider a fan. So basically, and don't get me wrong, I agree. Hate speech, bigotry, racism, that's not cool. You don't want to do that stuff. But darn well she's going to twist all of that out of context, out of proportion. Because she's going to say anybody who's going to be mad that this show is female-centric is going to be bigoted. They're going to be bigots. They're going to be anti-female, anti-feminist. And she's going to be mad about it. And she's going to call them out. Because that's who Leslie Headland is. That's the kind of person she is. You know that because they're going to be pushing the LGBTQ LMNOP agenda in this show, and people are going to call them out, she's going to call them bigots. And she's going to get mad about it. That's the problem that we're going to see here. What they're doing right now is this article was basically, we got to start saving face now. We have to call out these people, these fans who say they're fans. That's what they're going to say. We got to call out these people now. So when this show comes out and they start complaining because this show is going to suck, it is going to suck. When this show comes out and it sucks and it doesn't live up to our expectations, not the fans, because the fans know it's going to suck. But when it doesn't live up to the fans' expectations or any expectations, we can go back and say, see, it's the fans. The fans, they're mad because it's women. They're mad because of the alphabet crowd. They're mad about this. They're mad about this. And that's the problem. And that's what they're doing with this article here. They're basically going on the offensive now to save face later. It's pathetic. It is ridiculous. They're doubling down on something that they know they need to back off of. And you have to wonder why. The fans are pushing back. The fans don't want this. We're seeing it with Marvel. We're seeing it with other IPs. Look, I'm not a fan. I wasn't a big fan of Mad Max Fury Road. So I didn't really want to go see Furiosa. But look at what happened to Furiosa just this week. People didn't want to go see it because it didn't have Mad Max. Mad Max is a boy brand. You can be mad about that all you want. You can get mad that an action-packed film is a boy brand all you want to be mad about. Like, go ahead, be mad. Women can still enjoy it. That doesn't negate the fact that it's a boy brand. And sometimes they just don't want to go see a woman lead a boy brand. It is what it is. Sometimes they do want to see it. There have been successful films like that in the past. But when they're successful, it's great writing, which we have not been seeing lately. We have not been seeing great writing in movies lately. On top of that, it's been great action set pieces, great visuals, again, which we haven't been seeing lately. So what do you expect? All the trailers for The Acolyte have looked terrible. The writing sounds horrendous. The people who are involved in creating this show are horrendous. So what do you expect? What do you expect? This show is going to bomb massively. They're going on the attack now so they can attack the fans later and blame the fans later. That's all they're doing right now. And it's pretty pathetic. It's pathetic. Kathy Kennedy, we thought she was better than this. You know, look at her resume prior to being head of Lucasfilm. Fantastic resume. But since being head of Lucasfilm, it seems like every single year she just gets worse and worse and becomes more part of the problem in Hollywood. And here we sit. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I want to know what you guys think about this article. It's over on Variety. Check it out. Read it. It's horrendous. It's terrible. What do you think about Leslie Headland's comments? Let us all know in the comments below. With all that said, I'll catch you all later.